Hello dear students, welcome back to my class. Last class we dealt with the first portion of the poem, The Heart of the Tree. The first paragraph we had completed. Today we will go to the second paragraph. But before we go to the second stanza, let's know the meaning of the certain words. The first word is tender rain. It means gentle, pleasant rain. The second word, days to be. That means time to come in future. The third word, fade, which means wither. The fourth word is flush, F-L-U-S-H. That means grow or brighten up. The fifth word is heritage, which means the features like culture, tradition, and beliefs that are passed down from one generation to the other. The sixth word is harvest, which means reward. The seventh word is unborn eyes. It refers to the future generation, that is unborn children. Now let us go to the second stanza of the poem. So you should have a book open in front of you so that you can follow it. In the second stanza, the poet begins it by asking the same question again. And what's the question you see? What does he plant who plants a tree? And then the poet goes on to list the benefits, or we can say the advantages that accrue from planting trees. The second line, he plants cool shade and tender rain. By planting trees, we get cool shade which protects us from heat and rain, which nurtures our planet. Hence, the words tender rain is used. The next line you see, and seed and bird of days to be. It means that in future the same trees will provide us with fruits, flowers and seeds. And the following line, and years that fade and flush again. This means just as 1 year ends and the new year begins, in the same way the environment also represented by trees will fade out and then become bright again. Trees will grow old and die, and a new tree will sprout from the seeds of old trees. The next line, he plants the glory of the plain, which means trees give glory to the plain land, which would be desolated, neglected, and deserted otherwise. Just you think that in the plain land, if there were not trees, no trees, then what would happen? The next line you see, he plants the forest's heritage. It means the act of planting trees today is what will create a forest of trees in the future. The more the number of trees, the healthier and happier our planet will be. And these days we can understand, due to the lockdown situation, you see the lot of trees that are there, that are how they are being useful and helpful to us. And because of them today you see, because of lockdown, the clear weather, how much pollution is being reduced, isn't it? Now you see the next line, the harvest of a coming age, the joy that unborn eyes shall see. It means planting a tree today will give us the result or the consequences of our action in our coming age, or in the next generation or days to come. The effects of planting a tree are long lasting. Even the coming generation who have not been born yet will see the trees and experience the joy of having trees all around them. Just you think, like our forefathers or our grandparents, those who planted the trees, those fruits we are at our present time we are enjoying it. In the similar way, if our generation will plant the trees, that fruits will be enjoyed by the future generation. That's what the point means. We see the next line. These things he plants who plants a tree. Here, the poet concludes the stanza just like just like the previous one by emphasizing these are the benefits we get by planting trees. Now let's move to the third stanza word meaning. The first word is sap, S-A-P, sap, meaning liquid in a plant that carries food to all parts. Second word is loyalty, that means faithfulness. The third word is forecast, which means foresee, look before, ahead of time. Fourth word is civic good, that means welfare or well-being of the city or its citizens. The fifth word is hollow, H-O-L-L-O-W, hollow, meaning empty space. The sixth word is from sea to sea, it meaning all the world. The seventh word is stirs, excites or arouses a feeling. Now let's go to the text of the poem, third stanza. You see again the poet begins the last stanza by repeating the same question. What does he plant who plant a tree? Next line, he plants in sap and leaf and wood, in love of home and loyalty. Here, he refers to the different parts of the tree that are useful to us, such as SAP, sap, leaves, wood, and says that every part of the tree is so useful that if we love our home, whether it is our own home, our neighborhood, our city, country, or the planet, if we love our home, if we are loyal to our home, city, country, and above all to our planet, then we will definitely plant trees. The next line you see, and forecast thought of civic good. This means that those who plant trees are visionaries. They can vision out, see ahead. They can foresee the far-reaching beneficial impact on the civic good, which means the welfare of the society or the good of the society. The next line we see, his blessings on the neighborhood, who in the hollow of his hand holds all the growth of all our land. It means a man who plants trees is elevated, is taken up by his good deeds to a stage or position that is higher than that of others. So in that stage, they don't mind what others are saying or what others are thinking, because he knows what he does is good, what he is doing is correct for the good of the society, and so he goes on to do, and that is why they are elevated. The poet conveys this by using the words his blessings, his hand, and finally the last line says holds all the growth of all our land. Such a man is capable of blessing others. Not the use of the capital letter in the pronoun H. This tells us that the planter of tree is not an ordinary person. By planting trees, he is blessing his fellow men and everything that is around him. He holds seeds or saplings in the hollow of his hand, and when these seeds sprout and when these saplings grow, they contribute to the well-being of everyone. That's why the poet says, all the growth of all our land. And the last line of the poem, you see, a nation's growth from sea to sea. Here, the poet describes that a nation does not comprise or made up of isolated or demarcated pieces of land only. Mere political boundaries or any boundaries cannot confine the spirit of nationhood. A truly enlightened human being is one who can think of universal welfare. Such a man thinks about the growth, the prosperity of the entire planet from sea to sea, and it is this feeling that lives in his heart as conveyed in the last line, stirs in his heart who plants a tree. With this explanation, I conclude the chapter, The Heart of the Tree. Thank you.